Hello, everyone there in the Radio Plus world. My name is Chris Cahill. I'm glad you're here for our very first PPC Radio Plus Open Office Hour. I wanted to introduce myself. I am Chris Cahill. I work at Web Vitality. I am online live via a webinar format, but we're also going to record this, have it available on YouTube in an own channel that we're going to develop. This is our first episode, and it's also coincidentally enough my birthday. So this show was born on the same day as myself, some 46 years ago in the city of Detroit. My background is such that I come to this environment not really as a technical person, although I have a Google and Bing certification. I am a business person. I have been since single digits back working in a family business. I have worked at about 4 or 5 wonderful places. All but one of them was actually a family business, but the scope of which was extended from small one cash register operation all the way to a $2 billion global manufacturer and distribution and kind of everything in between. I spent 7 years at a very robust California-based business that had 2 or 3 very successful models, and pay-per-click was used substantially in one of those businesses. And the company I work for now was our supplier. So I was a customer of Web Vitality, the sponsor of our show here, and now I am an employee. In between there, I've done some startups, I've done some tech stuff, but more than anything, I'm a sales and general manager person with an accounting degree, a marketing background, a law degree, an MBA, and a member of the Michigan State Bar since 1995. Yet to bill for 1 hour of my legal expertise, but I use it on a daily basis. So that's who I am. The audience for this show that we have in mind. One of the things that's cool about the pay-per-click world is there's just an amazing plethora of resources out there, blogs, webinars, all kinds of stuff. But most of them are meant for people like me who are learning and experiencing the back end, so to speak, behind the curtain of pay-per-click. There's very few outlets and learning experiences available for the business person trying to figure out what to do in this space. So I am here to help you guys figure out as much as possible how to use pay-per-click marketing, i.e. paid traffic, whatever format that is. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have live. And for those of you hearing this on the internet, on YouTube, whatever, you can also email me questions, and we'll work them into the show at some point. My email is chris@webvitality.net. Our website is webvitality.net, obviously. And we have a Twitter feed as well. It's called Web Vitality MKTG, Web Vitality Marketing. And I am also personally at Suburb Dad Chris. Don't judge me by who I follow. It's more for recreational, but there are plenty of pay-per-click experts out there as well that are feeding into this show. So if there's anybody out there that live that has a question, there is a Ask a Question button on the Click Webinar operating panel there if you want to ask something. I can get on the air with me. Otherwise, I'm going to pretend that this is a college radio station and it's 4 a.m. and kind of talk to myself without the liberty of playing any songs. So I did, because it's our very first episode, I do have sort of a canned presentation that I can give, but that's certainly not the intent. If you have some questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to go through that, and if this presentation raises any questions, please feel free to ask at any time. And from there, I think we'll get going with the presentation. Alrighty. This is the PPC Open Office Radio Plus Talk Show. I am Chris Cahill. We're going to do this live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We have just launched an Open Office Hour Twitter handle, so that'll be our official feed. Again, here's all the information about myself and our company. This is absolutely free to join every Wednesday live, and obviously to absorb on the internet as time goes by. This is our first episode. Look for the red Ask a Question button, and I'll share the stage. You can ask me anything you want in real business language. But so diving into what is paid traffic, right? Paid traffic has two sides. One is needs fulfillment, and that is symbolized most effectively by the Google search bar, right? This is something I want to do. I have in here, how do I build a website for my small business? The other side is demand generation, and the lion's share of that is going through Facebook right now. So Facebook, on my Facebook feed, it feels like I want to know how to build better landing pages. So a company called Lead Pages has identified me as somebody they'd like to talk to, and has asked me to interact with them. They don't know that I do or I don't need this. They just know that I might. I'm a good candidate for it. So they're trying to generate demand. The biggest out there are well known to all of us, but not everyone uses all of them. I make it a habit to use. I use everything on here except for the most part with the Angry Birds. But my 6-year-old is borrowing me my phone enough to know that I know how that works as well. I have the logos here arranged in size to illustrate the importance. On the search side over here, on the left side, Google dominates that space. Bing is relevant, but it's not as widespread for sure. Yahoo's kind of interesting. They're outsourcing their search results now to Google and Bing for the most part. But it's still used, and there's other ones. Google will allow you to put their search engine on your site, for example, but it's still Google ads that are being served. The other side of the coin are the social platforms. Facebook is dominating that and continues to dominate that. Their evolution from who you are as a person and what they know about you, from your viewing habits online, your purchase habits, all sorts of things, is just unbelievably robust. They own Instagram, and they're allowing that audience to be pushed into this advertising funnel as well. YouTube is owned by Google, and there's a tremendous ability to implement ads on there as well. They have a number of different places to put ads. Twitter allows you to do some pretty cool stuff if there's a follower base. They don't know as much about you as Facebook, but they have a pretty robust amount. LinkedIn is relevant in a much smaller space. The thing that's really interesting, you see down at the bottom of the screen, is the AdMob platform. That's Google owns that. It's all the ads you see in not video games, in the apps on your smartphones. Angry Birds I have down there because I saw a stat that Angry Birds Free Edition makes that company, Roxio, far more money, exponentially more money than when you pay for it, because the ads that they're allowed to show just generate an unbelievable source of income for these companies. Many of the clicks are inadvertent. Some of them are forced, but they're still out there. So in-app advertising is huge. What's interesting is if you set up your Google AdWords campaign, you can flow to a lot of these different places, including just general websites. So AdSense is the product that companies can utilize to fill their own site with ads. Display ads primarily, but you'll see some sort of modified search ads out there. The ads can go everywhere and anywhere, and if you're not careful, your funnel turns into a strainer in no time, and the water just flows out of there. So that's the platforms, the primary platforms. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. On the paid search landscape, surprisingly, not everyone realizes this, but this little yellow ad button right here is the key to Google's $60 billion business. Those people have all paid to be there. You can't see it as well. Artificial grass San Diego. We live in San Diego, where we're having a drought, and everybody's removing their backyards and putting in desert scape. But one of the things you can put in is artificial grass or putting green, things like that. So if you search artificial grass San Diego on this page, you'll see three paid. The first three results are paid ads. A little yellow ad symbolizes that. This group over here is known as Google Products, and they allow you to buy a product. So artificial grass is a thing that you can buy. If this was a Tickle Me Elmo doll, there'd be 8 places to buy a Tickle Me Elmo doll right there. These are also people that are paying to get there. The experience is a little bit different than otherwise. These folks down here along the right-hand side, if the products aren't there, they'd be higher, but they're here now. They are also paid ads. They're just paying less, and their order, the page order, is significantly less popular. You definitely want to be up in here. This is where the volume is. It also costs the most. If there's a real live auction that goes on every time I typed in artificial grass San Diego, Google goes out and scours the available bidders for that space. There's a very complicated process that goes on. It's not just a bidding process. It's also a matching between what they think I would enjoy as a user and what people are willing to pay. That's how that's determined. Below that, you'll see this local map. So by putting San Diego in there, it becomes somewhat of a local search, and I get a few of their top hits for local vendors. If I click on the little link here, I go to their website. If I click on the ad, I go to a landing page. And as we go along in time, the landing page is going to take a much bigger role in our discussions, because that is where the rubber hits the road on the paid search environment, paid anything environment. Where you go when you click in the pay-per-click process, that's what makes a difference. This black hole down here is symbolizing and holding the place for all the SEO or free traffic. You'll notice how low that's been pushed on the screen. On my screen, it was below the screen capture. On a phone, it would be probably 6 scrolls away. And the whole SEO world of earning your keep for free without paying, Google and every other device out there is punishing that severely. It's always been speculative, but now it's just it's so low in the search results that it's really hard to count on and to control. And surprisingly, still very expensive because of the resources that go into creating the content. But enough about SEO. Social ads. So you get the search, and then you have the social. Social ads are everywhere. They are in every platform. I have a few of them here in using my own sort of feeds and whatnot. LinkedIn on my desktop. I have an ad up here. It's a little text ad. If I were able to scroll down on the screen, there'd be more. There's also some in my feed. When I go to LinkedIn Mobile, I have a sponsored post by WGSN, Get in the Fast Lane. Whoever they are, that's not someone that I have a relationship with on LinkedIn. Twitter has a suggested post. I'm sorry, Facebook has a suggested post. It looks like news. It's not. Twitter Mobile has a promoted area. It can be a promoted tweet that actually was a tweet, or just basically a pure ad, but it's a promoted tweet in their lingo. All of these things have extraordinarily robust demographics that can be used to point at the audience, based on income, based on geography, based on whether you own a home, whether you're in the market to buy a car. Facebook has all sorts of sort of psychographics in terms of your family status, your marriage status, all sorts of interests. For myself, it was kind of interesting. Apparently my sort of down the road, middle of the road political views got me both a tick on the Republican and the Democratic category, which we all kind of know is impossible. However, if we had a 3-party system, I'd probably be in that one as well. So that's where social ads appear. We're all familiar with display ads. On this side, I have Golf Digest. I'm an avid golfer and golf parent. When I go to Golf Digest, though, I don't have a hearing problem just yet. I am 46 today. I don't have a hearing problem, but apparently this company right here believes that the people that go to Golf Digest are more likely to have a hearing problem than other folks, so they've put an ad there. When I go to my local news channel, my local San Diego Union Tribune website, they can tell that I was recently looking to upgrade my mobile phone experience, and I visited T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has now been stalking me all throughout my internet experience for the last couple of weeks. You see my little note down here, the Kim Ye effect, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. We had a client that wanted to explore display advertising, so we turned it on and sort of let Google do its thing. Came back a day later, and some 1,000 impressions were given to a page that had no relevancy whatsoever to our client's business, but Kim Kardashian's photo was there, so therefore it had a virtually unlimited stream of audience. You need to be really careful with where you put your stuff and where and how well the match really is. And then if you have sites that are making you click or tricking you into clicking, you're going to buy some clicks that just don't add up. So there's ways to block those sites, and obviously we did that with this one client. They had a very broad intent, and we quickly narrowed it. YouTube, I mentioned, is a enormously valid social platform. They have a tremendous amount of ad capability. And this is a couple of screenshots. In my YouTube experience, I did how to hit a draw with a driver. So that's a golf shot where the ball goes left to right if you're right-handed like I am. The ad, I've been retargeted, which is people following me because I know of this company right here. So that's a retargeted display ad. YouTube has two ads right here at the top of the search results. So I've searched inside of YouTube. One is how to drive a car because I'm talking about driving, and the other is how to draw because I'm talking about drawing with a driver. The real intent, just to show you that Google knows what I'm talking about, they're just choosing to expand their ad base. The first three real results are people doing exactly what I said, which is hitting a draw with a driver. It's a golf shot. And then subsequently, when you click on the first one, I'm presented with a 15-second Denny's ad before I get to see how to hit a draw with a driver. So there's, display retargeting or just display. Search ads within YouTube, which you can tell are very loosely defined. And then an ad just for anybody that's consuming traffic on YouTube. So the vocabulary in the pay-per-click world are impressions. So if we go back to this YouTube ad, this is an impression, this is an impression, this is an impression. These are all impressions, right? So 4 people got 1 click in their impression bucket. I didn't click on any of these. The next metric is what did I click, and then subsequently what are you going to be charged for as the advertiser? And the difference of that, how many clicks to how many impressions, is your click-through rate. There are some what we like to call unicorns out there in terms of high click rates. Most sort of B2B stuff is in maybe a 1 to 2%. On average, if you have a pretty good brand and a product that people know about, you're going to have maybe a 5%. There are some unicorns out there that are 18, 19% because their offer and their search criteria is so amazing. And as I mentioned, the landing page, so you have clicks. You have an impression that you click that takes you to a landing page. We could go on for an hour, and I'll probably put some canned stuff together about landing page technology and landing page theory and whatnot. But to put it this way for this quick little session, a landing page by definition should almost never be your home page. A home page has many masters, has many goals. A landing page has one goal, which is to convert this click, and I'll use the word convert, to convert the click into a lead, a suspect, a prospect, even a client, potentially, depending on your lead flow. In this case, you have converted a click into a known commodity, right? You know their email address. You got them to sign up for your trial. Whatever it is that your goal was, you have made that happen. And ROI, any small business, and small business people will see this over time for sure. The question is always, what is my ROI, right? How much did I spend? What's my return on investment? without knowing the conversion, and then another level of that conversation, which is not just conversion, but how many of them became clients or customers. If you're doing something online in e-commerce or something, your conversion can actually measure your client return because it's in your cart, let's say. But for most of us, you're going to have to go offline and figure out, hey, what became of these leads? What became of this channel? So if you get 1,000 emails on your free trial and you put them through an email marketing machine, you need to tag them with where you got them, so that a month or 6 months down the road you can figure out what these people what became of these people. And so it's very hard to measure without the results of the lead. E-commerce is a little bit of a different story. I did want to bring up, and I'm not going to switch over live because it's a new tool for me, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work out. But I can show you on this screen. So Google, the creators of the simplest search engine known to mankind, one box on a page, type in whatever you want, we'll figure out what you're trying to do. They know how to do that, but on the flip side, the tool that they've built to run their Google AdWords campaigns is remarkably complex. Just yesterday, I started an account to have a blind campaign to show folks online here, and I will jump to that at the end just in case I screw it up. But so to start the account, so if I'm showing up and I have Chris Cahill's LawnCare.com, to start an account, very simple. They help me through it. They help me in many, many ways. And so to get my first ad up and running, it's not impossible by any means. In fact, most people could figure it out. But what you're quickly going to find is that your results aren't, the term is optimized. They're not optimal because Google has taken a very, very broad stance as to who you're trying to attract, who you're trying to talk to. And a lot of the intent of the people is misunderstood or mismatched, so therefore you either don't get the clicks, or when you get the clicks, they're not your clients. And a real good example, a lot of our clients are in the shredding business, so shredding paper, shredding confidential documents. That verb, to shred, is used, though, also in shredding cheese, shredding your abs with Jillian Michaels, shredding the snow powder as a skier. I think it even applies to skateboarding, and I know there's various things you can shred. I'm a shredding service provider in Tacoma, Washington. I need to find those people that need to shred paper, and only those people. But if those people type in shredding, Google can be fairly liberal with what that is. Fortunately, there's not a lot of advertising going on in shredding of cheese and shredding of snow and whatnot, but it can get very complex in certain business areas. A sister product to shredding is storage, record storage. Well, storage could be digital storage like Barracuda. It could be self-storage like public storage. And then to make it even trickier, people don't necessarily know what a record is compared to a record from the past. It's like an LP, an Elvis record. Google allows this leakage to occur. Your budget gets squandered to some degree in that the clicks that come to your site had no intention of consuming what you offer, and therefore they bounce back. Google gets paid, you get charged, the customer is not satisfied, but they quickly know how to get back, and you'll see that in the bounce rate, or the time on page is very short. But once you go through that quick little setup process where it's very wizard-like and very easy to do, if you come back or if you try to dig deeper, you're now shown this screen. Which, if you're not familiar with this, there's several navigation bars. There's one over here, which shows your campaigns, which is also right here, which is confusing in and of itself. You have ad groups, settings, ads, keywords, extensions, dimensions, and then as you click in any one of these buttons down here change. So you can be 3 and 4 levels into these operations before you really kind of know what's going on. They draw your eye to things like this little note up here, which is, hey, we have more keywords for you to buy. Click here so we can make your net even bigger. Even if the holes become wider as well, the net becomes bigger. So they point you around, and again, I'll show this at the conclusion of this. But is it DIY friendly? It can be. One of the things you have to remember, though, also is that you're competing against other people in your business. You're competing. You have kind of like a frenemy in Google, in the sense that Google is out there trying to get as much money from you and deliver the results that you're hoping for. But really, the results are balanced by how long you'll support the mechanism, right? So if you got one lead out of for your first $500, it may in fact be worth it, even if the other $400 were wasted. So people like us are service providers that know how to reduce that waste. So DIY friendly, I'd give it about a 4, and it depends on your business. The question I'm asked the most is pay-per-click right for me? Is it right for my business? Is it right for my market? The strategy involved and the pricing and the commoditization and whatnot. And I'm not going to bore people with this too much. Get a few minutes on tape here on this subject. You have to look at it from offensive versus defensive, right? If your competitors are there and they're pushing you might have great SEO results, which are the free ones that I was talking about. But if your competitors are pushing you down too far by putting ads on there, then you may have to. Otherwise, you're not going to be seen. So that's defensive. If you aren't getting good SEO results and you want to get to the top, you can take the offense and get to the top. If you're trying to get into a market like the neighboring market that you don't have any SEO in yet, you're not on the map because you're not in that city, all those types of things, you can essentially buy your way to the top and push down the locals. Are you looking for new growth or replacement, right? Are you trying to expand your business? Are you trying to take some funds that you have available from a different company and expand your market using your brand? Are you trying to save your business, right? If your business has converted to a digital form, if you're in a formerly brick and mortar type of business and you have to get in that marketplace, then yeah, you have to play. You also have to look at the audience size and the receptiveness of your potential audience. If you're a local business but you only have 25 people that can buy your service, then this isn't the way to do it. You're better off calling or direct mailing or visiting the 25 people that can buy your service. Receptiveness, if people are going to be interested in your message, then by far that's a better way to go. If your Facebook ad is for something that they're looking for, it could be health, it could be vacation, it could be fun, it could be family related. If that's a receptive place to put it, then sure. Your company culture and readiness makes a big difference. You have to be patient. You have to have a degree of faith to do pay-per-click marketing. You have to trust the people that are running it and machines built to operate it. And the biggest challenge people have is giving it enough time, so the patience. If you're testing things and you're turning off tests too quickly, you're not really testing at all. You're just doing your hunches. And I have been guilty of this plenty of times. So how ready are you to jump in and to be patient and enjoy the ride? That's a part of it. And then the other question comes down to budget, right? What types of ads, what time of day, if you're going to get any help. Like if you hire people like us to do it, you've added a cost to your clicks. You can reduce the cost, or you reduce the waste, which helps pay for the cost, but it is a factor, right? So how much should you spend is the question. How much should I spend? That's the question we get most of the time. And one, you don't know until you try to see how well it's going to work. And once you try, you have to try various things, and then you have to give it enough of a roadway to actually see if it matters, right? So to say you're going to spend, let's say, $20 a day, and you might get 4 clicks, that's fine. But you may have to run it for a month to see if 120 people, if it works, right? If you start changing things after 2 days, after 1 day, if you completely reroute the whole project, if you send it to your landing page one day and a home page the next day, if you change your special offer, all of this stuff dilutes the value of what you're trying to figure out. And essentially, that's all that I had for my canned speech. We got 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes on tape here, which is good for the first show. Again, if you're watching later on, ask me anything you want, and I'll try to get it into the program. I'd love to have you join me live, but here's my email, chris@webvitality.net. We do offer paid services here at Web Vitality in two ways. One is an hourly strategic and technical consulting service, so you can rent our brains by the hour. And for those people that apply and are selected, we have a monthly package support program in which you essentially turn it over to us, and we run it for you. The pricing and stuff for that depends on a lot of different factors. But if there's a fit there and you would like to apply, we'd love to talk to you more. Again, thanks for joining us on the PPC Open Office Radio Plus Talk Show. And I look forward to speaking with you and at you again every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.